You're a hardened criminal in the most brutal prison drama ever to make it to the big screen. The food is lousy.
And what's more, the guards have got you down as a troublemaker.
Jonathan, stop it! Don't! Look at me! Oh, so what are you going to do? Join the chess club? Wait for parole? Don't be stupid. You're going to dig your way out. Because whether it's from high-security prisons or evil villains, there's nothing Hollywood loves more than a great escape.
We got 3 of the most gripping breakouts ever to put to the scientific test. Find him, boy.
But only one of them can win our prestigious Hollywood Science Award, the film world's highest accolade for the naffest, most hoodwinking science in all of moviedom.
So which movies will be getting the Hollywood science treatment?
We've got Escape from Alcatraz, featuring one of the most daring breakouts in movie history.
What are our chances? Slim.
There's Hollow Man, starring Elizabeth Shue, trapped in a giant freezer.
But first up, a high-tech eco-thriller starring Keanu Reeves as the leader of a pollution revolution. It's Chain Reaction. Keanu and chums have discovered how to power the entire planet using nothing more than water. Framed for flattening half of Chicago, Keanu and his friend Rachel Weisz find themselves trapped inside an underground lab.
To add to their problems, the whole place is about to blow.
On top of that, a massive concrete slab has blocked their escape route.
But quick-thinking Keanu's got an idea.
The tent!
So, could a gas cylinder have moved a huge, great lump of concrete, or is that just Hollywood science?
Well, we certainly need to see whether the gas cylinder's got enough force and what the friction is. But actually, the first thing we need to consider is whether they'd blown themselves out.
Ah, yeah, now that could be quite important.
Oh, yeah, you can see it says hydrogen on the cylinder.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Now, hydrogen's a really dangerous gas.
Oh, is it? Well, like explosively dangerous.
But then, of course, it's venting into the room,
Yeah.
mixing with oxygen in the air. Probably the most explosive mixture you can make. Let's get a balloon and fill it up.
OK.
Because I've got a cylinder of hydrogen over here. So we need 2/3 hydrogen.
Yep.
OK, and 1/3 with oxygen.
Oh, this is the oxygen in here, right. Oh, my God.
OK, great. So I've got a sort of pulley mechanism here.
Right.
So we can move the balloon onto a candle.
Oh, I see. So we're at a safe distance from the blast zone.
So I think we need to wear these.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This could be a bit loud.
See what I mean?
That was terrifying.
That was. That's hydrogen reacting with oxygen to form water. It's incredibly explosive.
It's really dangerously scary. I mean, here he is in that room, knocking off the end of it with an axe. OK, it's got some cloth wrap.
And anything sliding across the floor.
Potential for sparks.
Ace could do. It's incredibly dangerous.
Oh, there's the phone. Would you get that?
Will you get it? I want to pack this up.
Jonathan was doing an experiment. It shocked me too. And no, it wasn't an explosion. I mean, not as such. The cat was in the garden. Oh. Oh dear.
Oh, what's the matter?
It's Madge next door. She's not happy.
Oh, a cat.
The explosion, yeah, the cat's upset. I've sorted it out anyway. No, look, I've just been worrying because we've just been thinking there's Keanu in danger of getting blown up. He's never going to knock that off in the first place. These are really solid.
I think we'll have to try it.
Go on, Keanu's tough, isn't he? To carry one of these. Whoa. So where are you going to hit it then?
You're going to hit it on the end.
I'm hitting it.
Yeah.
Well, it's really dangerous. It's gas and everything
Oh,
inside.
no, don't worry. Look, there's a hole in the end, so there's no gases in here at all.
Oh, I see.
This
It's
one's
empty.
completely
It's completely empty.
So don't worry about that. And I've taken the cloth off it because I think that's just going to get in the way. And as there's
Right.
no gas,
There's
it
no
might
danger.
spark, but there's no
No
danger.
danger, right.
Yeah.
So I've just got to whack it on the end there.
Yeah. Give it a go.
All right. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Let's have a go.
Oh, yeah, that did it.
Wow.
That's good.
It did, didn't it? It snapped it clean off. It's pretty impressive. Oh, well, no, it's changed my mind completely. Because if you think Keanu, really cool axeman, he'd be able to do that in one blow. So let's give Keanu the benefit of the doubt for the time being. I mean, if he could have knocked the top off the canister,
Yep.
and if he hadn't blown himself up in the process,
Yeah.
could he have moved the big block?
The main thing to look at is friction, basically. So on this model, I've got concrete block here. I've got a little canister.
Right.
And, of course, I can't have gas coming out of the canister.
shame.
So what I've done is I've got a string with a weight on it.
Okay, and that pulls it along?
Yeah,
Right.
so that's
okay.
applying a force.
Right.
And the first thing you see is that it's not moving.
It's stable, isn't it?
To get it to move, you've got to overcome friction.
But in the movie, Keanu actually fires the thing from quite a distance, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He takes that
exactly.
far away.
So pull it back,
Okay. Stand back, King!
and it moves it.
It does, right. A bit of impact and it starts to drive it.
And then you can get the thing moving.
Yeah.
So that's the idea.
Because the other thing is, the block is actually over a big hole in the ground. Now, surely if the concrete's only touching around the edge of the hole, there's going to be much less friction.
I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, that's nice and heavy.
Okay, 2 concrete slabs,
Yeah.
one on top of the other. I've got a force meter here,
Right.
which when you press on this, measures
Okay.
the force
I'll steady the bottom one.
required to move it, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a force equivalent to 27 kilograms.
27
force.
kilograms of oomph.
Okay, so what's the bets on this one then?
Well, it's got to be a lot less, hasn't it, I think, because there's less friction, isn't there?
Let's see then. 27. It's exactly the same.
Oh. Well, why is that then? I don't get it.
Well, it's true that you have got a smaller area now, so you think there'll be less friction. But of
Yeah.
course, you've got the whole of the weight of this slab on that small area. The two cancel each other out.
Right.
So it's actually the same friction.
Oh.
The next thing we need to do is to see if there's enough force from the gas coming out of a cylinder to move a concrete slab.
So we actually blast the cylinder off?
Yeah.
Excellent. Great. This is so exciting. Can't wait. We've got axes, we've got high pressure canisters. It's just like the film, but better.
Yeah, well, we've got a little cylinder here.
Yeah.
And that's wired up with these tubes. And when you pump on the pump, not only will it register on the meter here, but that'll be the pressure in here. So eventually we're going to have a block of concrete, just like in the film here,
Right.
but I'm not too sure what pressure we've got to use.
Yeah.
We've got 8 now. That's 10, so that's almost 150 psi. Okay, that's 12. Let's have a go.
I'm slightly worried about the house. Come on, Keanu, do your best.
Oh, look at that.
I actually felt the gust from that. It did go.
He did. I think there's quite a lot of information in there, so I'll do the numbers.
Right.
And try and work out how big our concrete block should be for this model.
That's it then. That's the size of block we're going to use. It sort of looks plausible. It looks about the right size.
Let's try it out.
Oh, getting really hard. Now this is it. This is the moment of truth. If this
Yeah.
doesn't work, Keanu's doomed, isn't he? He's got no chance.
I think this is an important test.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. Ready?
Yep, go.
Wow.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, it's moved it. That has really worked.
It
That's
has.
brilliant.
But this demo is designed to show how much the real thing would have moved.
Right.
And actually, it's only moved 5 centimetres here.
Oh, I see. So even if you scale the whole thing up, the one thing that doesn't change is the distance that's travelling.
We've designed that for that,
Ah,
yeah.
which means that the hole for Keanu to escape is rather small.
It is a bit
I mean, he's a
small.
very slim fella, but I don't think he'd get through there. But I mean, we've still got 2 moves to go.
Yep.
So we should hold judgment just yet. But
Yeah,
at
definitely.
least it moved. Our next movie, a classic from the 1970s, sees Clint Eastwood serving a 10-year stretch in the most notorious prison on Earth.
Welcome to Alcatraz.
From day one, Clint is constantly having to watch his back.
I'm looking for a new punch.
It's not long before he starts to think the unthinkable.
I may have found a way out of here.
Yep, he decides to escape from Alcatraz. In the escape we're going to put to the scientific test, Clint is starting to dig his way out.
But he's finding it heavy going.
Whoever named this place The Rock wasn't kidding. Working with those nail clippers just doesn't have any grip.
Unable to persuade the guards to lend him the tools to do the job, Clint decides to make his own.
I think that's a coin.
Yeah.
It looks like they're trying to braze or weld 2 bits of metal together with little more than matches, not a lot else.
Ooh.
Didn't have smoke detectors in those days.
No. It's got to be fairly hot, that bit of metal.
Hey, Frank, what's burning?
So, a pickaxe made out of matches and a melted coin. I mean, well, I can see you think it's a bit of old Hollywood science, Jonathan.
I think it's quite difficult.
Well, I mean, the thing about this particular film is based on a true story.
Right.
This is the book Escape from Alcatraz, about this guy, Frank Morris, who Clint Eastwood plays. All that stuff about the welding is in the book.
It does seem an awful lot of work, right, just for a small little pick.
Yeah, but it's not, you know, they didn't just make it up, it's actually history.
Well, let's assume the book's right. I mean, brazing or soldering, people have been doing that for thousands of years, maybe 3,000 years.
Right.
And
Clint in his cell. That is genius.
we're going to weld him in.
Make sure he can't escape it the easy way.
So basically, what we're doing is we're joining two bits of metal
Yeah.
with a third bit of metal that melts at low temperature. So I've got a little welding torch here.
And that looks very, very hot then. That's clearly very high temperature.
Yeah, I mean, essentially it's very simple. But of course, you know, we're actually using high-tech stuff. This produces a high-temperature flame, and the solder is fairly pure, you know, it's lead and tin.
Yeah.
And he's got to use very, very low tech.
He's using matches and, well, it looked like an old coin, didn't it?
Whatever he's got around,
a
yeah.
dime, I should think.
So the first thing we've got to do is heat up a dime
Yeah.
and see what temperature it melts at.
Right. So have you got a dime?
I haven't got a dime,
Have you?
no.
No, I haven't got a dime. I've got an idea. Hang on, just a minute. There we go. Some dimes.
Excellent.
Oh, it's quite warm.
Yeah,
900 degrees. My goodness.
almost 1,000 now. And you can see the coins glowing.
The president is experiencing extreme thermification by the application of heatified gases.
But it's glowing red hot and nothing's happened.
It hasn't. I expected a kind of pool of metal there at the end of that.
Yeah, there's loads and loads of heat there. I don't know how many boxer matches there is.
It's about 90 boxes of matches a second.
It's not looking too
Slightly
good.
more than Clint had at his disposal, isn't it? It doesn't. It is a bit worrying. The only possible clue is that the breakout was in the early 60s.
Right.
And I'm just wondering whether coins then were made of a slightly different mixture of metals.
Well, that's 1994.
So that's a new
relatively
dime. So whether we should use an old dime,
Yeah.
sort of pre-60s dime.
Yeah.
you know.
I'll have a look.
All right.
Why don't you find out on the web, see if there's any info.
Let's have a look. All right, here we go. Yep, they changed in 1965. Before that, they were 10% copper and 90% silver.
Aha, that makes a lot of sense, because silver melts at about 800 to 900 degrees centigrade.
Right.
So that explains a lot.
So have you got any pre-65 coins there?
Yep, I found one. This is 1952.
1952. Let's melt that baby.
Yeah. What are we up now, 900?
Yeah, we're 900, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's going.
Is it? Oh, yeah, now you can make a dent in it with the thermocouple. The president has left the building and the coin. Wow, look at that, there it goes. God.
Well, that, according to the thermocouple, that's about 900 degrees.
Wow.
It's much better than the other coin.
Isn't it?
that's for
Yeah.
sure,
At least we know it can actually do it. I'm really pleased with that.
But it's a lot to ask from a small box of matches, don't you think?
Oh, come on, you big killjoy. I mean,
Yeah, but that needed all this to heat it up, didn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, like some matches all squashed together. Clint, you know, I reckon.
I think it's a lot to ask.
So how hot is a match then, Jonathan?
It's probably between 600 and 800 degrees centigrade, something
Oh,
like
that's
that.
I didn't think it would be that much. That's more than I thought. Wow.
Yeah, but it's not just the temperature, it's how long the thing burns for.
Yeah, not long.
To be honest with you, there's one other problem as well.
What is it now?
Flux.
Beg your pardon?
It's a really important part of the brazing process. Almost all metals react with the oxygen in the air to form metal oxides. And that's a real problem because it mucks up the brazing process completely.
Right.
So what you usually add is a flux, which is a chemical you put onto here. And when you heat it, it reacts with the oxide, gets rid of that, and then the solder can make a really good join.
Right, and
And they haven't even mentioned flux.
there's not a big sign of any flux in Clint's cell, is there?
So we need to see once and for all. We need to stage a breakout.
Yeah, then I was in Pentonville for a while, and then Sing Sing, of course. That was good. It was the lousing that used to get me.
Do you go into solitary then, mate?
Yeah, a lot of solitary.
Yeah.
Out of choice, really.
Happy days.
OK, look, I'm going to use Clint's method, all right?
OK.
And you can do whatever you like.
OK, great.
See you on the outside. What are you up to, Jonathan?
Well, I'm just taking the heads off the matches.
Oh, that's clever.
I'm going to pack them around the thing to see if we can get much more heat from it.
Ah, there we go. Yeah.
Hey, Robert,
Yeah.
I stole these clippers from the tool shop. Do you want them?
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'll pass them over.
Right, watch out for the guards. Yeah. Great. What have you got in there now? Foil?
Yeah, I nicked it from the bakery.
But look, I've got nothing here.
I've got mates on the inside.
You're somebody's punk, aren't you? That's what it is. Right, that's it. I'm ready to go now, Jonathan.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
let's
looking
have a look.
really hopeful, actually, now.
Let's have a look, mate. OK, I can see you.
Yeah. I've got my little shards of dime on top of there. OK, here comes the heat. Here comes my intense heat now. Yeah. Ah, look at that. Once you see it in action, ow, it's really hot. I can't quite tell yet if any of my dimes have actually melted, but they could have done underneath, because the temperature of this metal now is phenomenal. I think there's quite a strong bond there. OK, I'm going to test the weld.
OK, I'm ready.
Oh, wow. Very impressive setup. That's a small foundry you've got there, John.
Just got to light the top of the matches.
Let's do it, yeah. Wow. That's got to be...
Oh,
Ah, look at that. That's got to have a huge amount of heat in that.
there was a lot of heat.
Do you think all the match heads inside have gone off then?
Yeah, they went real quick.
Right.
Actually, much quicker than I thought they were going to go. Okay, let's have a look.
Yeah. Check your weld. Make sure it's set. How's it looking?
Nothing. Hasn't done a thing.
After all that effort, at least mine was quick. Yours took hours to be rubbish. Mine was really fast. Ah, the smell of freedom. Well, I'm not overwhelmingly convinced by this movie, I have to say.
No, I don't think Clint could have done it.
Looking a bit doubtful, isn't
No.
it? But we've still got one more movie to go,
That's
so we
true.
shouldn't quite jump to conclusions yet, because, you know, there were certain aspects of it that were sort of plausible-ish. I think, you know, let's move on.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
In our final movie, brilliant but bonkers scientist Kevin Bacon turns himself into the Invisible Man.
But stupidly, he forgets to check he can turn himself back.
Oh, what? Not surprisingly, Kevin starts to lose it, slaughtering his colleagues one by one. It's Hollow Man.
We are gonna take him down.
Our nail-biting escape finds Kevin, who by now has really, really lost it, locking brilliant but beautiful Elizabeth Shue inside a giant freezer.
Naturally, Liz is pretty miffed.
And so our plucky heroine sets about building the most powerful fridge magnet the world has ever seen.
I'm not gonna die in here.
Ah, now she's thinking now. She's got it. So, an escape from a locked steel box using, what, you know, an old drawer handle, some wire, and something that looks like it's off the set of Casualty. I mean, you know, is that possible?
Isn't it Hollywood science? Well, it's a nice escape on the movie.
I know, it's a cracking escape. No, it is a good escape, but I mean, I'm just wondering whether, you know, magnets, they're not that strong, are they? I mean, I always think of them as things like that. You can pick up pins with them.
Yeah, what she's making in the film is called an electromagnet, and that can be really, really strong. I'll show you. Step outside.
Are these what I think they are, Jonathan?
They certainly are. These are electromagnetic boots.
Magna boots.
So each of these is an electromagnet.
Right.
Sort of thing that's used for holding doors open.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So and they're very, very strong.
But then when you say electro and magnet, is there going to be like more electro than magnet? Because I'm standing on a metal plate in the wet with these things on my feet.
They're safe. They're low voltage. There's no problem at all. Yeah. Yeah, I'll help you up. If you can stand at the end of the plate.
Right.
Now then, just to show you how strong these are, I've got a 50 quid note here, right?
Right.
And if you can walk to the end here and pick it up, you can keep it. But you can only do it when I say go.
Don't you think I'm going to be able to do that?
OK, take a couple of steps.
All right, OK. Yeah.
No problem?
Quite heavy, but they're all right. No. that is you cannot make
They are
that.
very, very strong.
That is very, very strong.
I'll
I
leave
mean,
them on.
Cannot move that. I reckon she's got a good chance of doing it with this, something like this.
Well, these are precision-engineered devices, right? In the film, she just winds something up really quickly. So actually, there's a lot to learn about it. I'm not so sure whether she could do it.
Right.
So come along, and I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah. All right. Hang on. No, because look, Jonathan, they're still on. I can't actually. I can't move. Ah! Thank you.
I want to show you the electromagnet here, right?
That's an electromagnet.
This is the simplest electromagnet. So what I've got is a battery, a bulb, and a little switch. When I touch the switch, the bulb lights, so you know electricity is flowing.
Sure.
Now, when a current flows in a wire, it produces magnetism.
Does it?
Yeah, you can see that. I've got a compass here. And when I press the switch, you can see the compass move.
Oh yeah, no, it does. That's very sweet.
Basically, there's magnetism from all the wires here. So if you could coil them up, you can multiply that effect.
All right. Oh no, because we saw her do that in the movie. She does wind the wire around.
Exactly. Now, here I've got about 5 turns.
Yeah.
And if I do the same thing, you see it moves a lot.
Oh wow. Very clever.
So the idea is sound.
But then in the movie, she winds it round a kind of like an old handle or something.
She's using it as a core for the electromagnet. Now, the material that core is made of is really, really important.
Right.
These are 3 little electromagnets are made.
Right.
It's each got 200 turns of wire. Right. And they're all wired up so they've got the same electrical current passing through them.
Right.
This one's on a plastic core.
Yeah.
This one's on an aluminium core. And this one's on an iron core.
Right.
I've got some paper clips here.
Right.
So that's the plastic one.
Right.
But it's not enough to attract the paper clips.
No.
The aluminium one isn't any better,
Right.
but the iron one is a lot better. Have a look at this.
Wow.
But basically, it looks like if her handle that she pulls off is made of iron or steel, that'd make a big difference to it.
Yeah. But Jonathan, you were saying that building a homemade electromagnet's really difficult and really hard. This is really good. This works really well.
Yeah, these are only paper clips. They're very light. Yeah. And so far, we haven't dealt with resistance either.
Ah, resistance.
Basically, the longer you make the piece of wire, the more electrical resistance it has. So you want a really long bit of wire because you want as many turns as you can. Yeah. But the effect is to reduce the current.
So the less current, the less magnetism, yeah.
We can overcome that. Basically, you just need a higher voltage to power the magnet. We've got an electromagnet here.
Yeah.
If you wire it up to the battery, that's a 6-volt battery.
Right.
That puts the current through our magnet.
All right.
This has got a metal handle.
Okay.
And if you pour in some water,
right,
we can test how strong the magnet is.
That's taking a lot. I didn't think it would carry that much.
OK,
right.
great. So if I now connect it to the 12-volt battery,
right,
then it's got effectively twice as much current passing through it now, so it should be twice as strong.
It's holding that we've already put in.
Yep. You can see it's a lot stronger.
It is, isn't it? Much stronger, yeah.
OK, right.
So twice as much.
OK.
Now, that really shows the more voltage you've got, the more grip you've got. But, I mean, is that why she chose the defibrillator? Because that's got a huge voltage, really powerful stuff.
It has, but the main problem is that it's pulsed. When you put it on the chest to get heart going again.
I see, it's one
just
like pulse of it.
Yeah, and this only works, of course, when the current's flowing.
So you'd have a very powerful magnet for just a very short time.
I mean, those devices are portable, so they do have batteries in them.
Right.
So if she cleverly used one of those, she probably could have got away with that, yeah.
This is looking very Hollywood sciencey to me.
I think we need to try it on the door.
OK.
So basically, we're trying to reproduce the door that was on the film.
Yeah.
And we got a frame all the way around it that's about 8 centimetres thick. And we've got a panel that can go on the back.
Oh, right. That goes on here. Oh, lovely.
And the idea is that this is obviously the inside. We're going to use our homemade electromagnet.
Up against that.
To try and move the lock. And we've got a bolt here. This is a big, thick one here.
Yeah.
But if that doesn't work, if it's too heavy, we've got a much thinner one, which is lighter. And we'll try that out.
Right, this is it. We're trapped. We've got to escape.
Here's our electromagnet. Now, there's 200 turns of wire on there.
Which is more than Elizabeth would have done.
I think it's a lot more.
Okay, so we're trapped in it because it's getting very cold now. We haven't got long to get out. We're going to be frozen stiff. Are you getting any? Can you feel anything?
No, there's nothing. Can't feel anything at all. In the film, it actually sticks onto the door.
Yeah, it does. It slams onto it.
And there's nothing ever film. It's a bit disappointing.
Is there not even a little bit of... There is absolutely nothing there, is there?
So I think what we need to do is we need to take off this panel.
So it's almost directly onto
Just
it.
with the 3mm aluminium, see what we can do with that.
OK, let's have a look. Let's take that off. Right.
OK, so taking the back off.
OK, yeah.
I think we ought to give it a good chance and use the lighter one.
Oh, really?
actually.
You think this is going to be too heavy to slide?
Yeah.
OK. Well, look, I'll stay out this time and watch. See if
OK.
anything moves at
I'll
all.
give it a go.
Report through the door. Good luck. OK, we're ready out here.
OK, Robert.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel it attracting.
Oh, good. There's not a great deal of sort of slidey bolt action going on out here.
Yeah, it's not even holding onto it, though.
It's not sliding, no.
No.
It's not looking good. I mean, we've done everything we can. We've given her a stronger magnet, a very thin wall, a much smaller bolt. She's stuck in there.
It's not looking very good, is it? That was right close up to it. Classic Hollywood science.
It is. In a very strong field.
Yeah.
Well, we've scrutinised our 3 films. It's just up to us now to decide who's going to be the winner of the coveted Hollywood Science Award for the least plausible escape in the movies. So first up, we've got Chain Reaction and Keanu Reeves and the big concrete block.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think there's an awful lot of force in these cylinders.
Yeah.
They've got incredible pressure. There is the problem of the explosive atmosphere
Yes.
and sparks and things.
It's quite explosive hydrogen, isn't it?
Yeah,
Discovered.
but it's possible to do it. I think we'll give it middling marks, say 5.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That did convince me. Escape from Alcatraz. I mean, I started out thinking that was fairly straightforward until we did it.
There's not that much heat available for matches.
And for a very short time anyway.
Yeah, you need a cartload, I think. Oh, I don't know, 2?
I think at the most,
not
2.
very-
And then finally, Hollow Man. There's Elizabeth Shue trapped in the freezer room with the electromagnet.
I think that's even worse. I mean, she did the right thing. She was coiling the wire around the metal to make an electromagnet. But the power source from the defibrillator was completely unsuitable. And also, you know, it's quite a long way away from the latch. It just wouldn't have worked.
Absolutely hopeless. It didn't do anything.
1.
I think 1 out of 10. We're being very kind and generous. So that means the winner of the Hollywood Science Award is Hollow Man. All right. Bye-bye. That was the big cheese, the head honcho of the studio that made Hollow Man, the geezer. He is coming here. He's coming here to get the award personally.
So where is he then?
Don't worry, he's going to be here. It's fine. He'll be here, really. Do your Open University thing now.
If you want to try some Hollywood science experiments for yourself, check out the Open University website on open2.net. Well?
He'll be here. I told you. He'll be here. Don't worry about it. And do the thing about the magazine. You haven't done that yet.
If you like a free magazine listing all Open University programmes, call 0870 9000 313.
I'll give him another call. Oh, hi there. Yeah, it's Robert Llewellyn from the Hollywood Science Programme again.
Robert who?
Robert Llewellyn.
Hey, Bob! Hi, Bob! Great to hear from you. We're just so close. We're going to be there real soon. Yeah. Remind me, Bob, what is the actual award specifically for?
It's for bogus science in the movies.
Bogus!
Yeah, bogus, as in, you know, kind of rubbish, you know, implausible, completely fabricated load of old nonsense. Basically, kind of nonsense, rubbish,
Are you
trash.
kidding me?
Trash science.
You want me to come all the way out there to get some decent...
Yeah.
You must be out of your tiny, limey mind. Get out of here.
I think we better pop it in the post.